Hey, what is up, everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation Homebrew news and much, much more. Well, it is Friday. I hope you are looking forward to your weekend. I've got a ton of PlayStation related homebrew news, so let's just jump straight into it. So, the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is that Tustin has created a remote gallery for the PlayStation 4. This allows you to remotely view your PlayStation 4 capture gallery. So in this instance, these are the games that is currently on their PlayStation 4 system. They've connected to the console IP, and here you can quickly browse through all of the images that is currently on your system. Now, there's a few requirements here. Obviously, to build it, you need .NET 6, and in order to use it, you basically need a PlayStation 4 that's on 9.00 or lower. There's a couple of items over here in the to-do list, so we can see that there's some new features coming. Now, if you want to download this is not in the releases, or there is no releases that has been published on GitHub. But if you come over here to Twitter, then you can see that it is pre-compiled over here at this link. All of the links that you always see that I display in my browser are always in the description below. So taking a quick look at the tool, obviously they're connected in with their IP and their port, and now they are simply browsing some of the games that is on their system. So I think this is really neat that you would be able to quickly look at all of the media that's captured from your games on your jailbroken PlayStation 4. Next up, we have another release for the PlayStation 4, and this is by the one, the only Lappy, and it is Icon Mask version 1.08. Okay, so it says right here that we get 5 new masks, as well as there is no more firmware selection screen. So instead of showing, which firmware are you currently on and you having to select it, that has now been removed. There is also better system mounting function and a Homebrew store update check. So kind of this heart shape right here, as well as a couple of other masks. Now, as always, you can download the latest release over here on PKG Zone or the Homebrew app for the PlayStation 4. Next up, we have another theme, and this time it is for Dead Space. So in case you didn't know, there is a new Dead Space game coming out actually at the end of this month, which is January. And so with that new game, obviously Starkiller91 said, hey, I'm very disappointed to find out that in this generation, there isn't going to be any Dead Space, and what they're referring to there is that the new game will not be landing on the PlayStation 4. So they have made a new theme, and here is exactly what that theme looks like. So it looks really awesome. I really love the kind of the hand that is on the screen there. I love the kind of theme in just the background, the color choices. Anyway, another really cool theme that you can add for your PlayStation 4. Then we had another update on the PS5 BD-JB ELF Loader. So previously, John Tornblom has released a number of different updates for BD-JB, but in this release, which came out with version 1.5, we can see that now, in order to send an ELF payload or a jar payload or a Lua script, now you just simply run the one BD-JB ISO that you may have went ahead and burned to a disk, and then you will have multiple ports that are open. So now you will see that if you want to send an ELF file, it's again on port 9020, which is exactly how it was in WebKit. Jars are also on 9025, and then Lua scripts is on 9938. The one thing that I am a bit concerned about is that if BD-JB becomes more stable or feature rich, I hope that those improvements come back over to WebKit simply because there's a ton of folks that have the digital edition PlayStation 5 that don't have the ability to load a disc because their PlayStation 5 simply doesn't support it. So just something to keep a lookout for there. And then I wanted to sprinkle in a little bit of PlayStation 1 news, and that was by MidGeek Crisis Joe, and it was oh snap, open source PS1 in-game reset. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do an in-game reset. Again, the full source code is over here on GitHub, as well as how to wire this up. But obviously things like in-game reset allows you to be somewhere inside of a game, and when you want to reset back to the main menu, well, you just have a button combination in order to do that. Then back over to PlayStation 5, there is a NES emulator that uses the built-in Blu-ray player that's on PlayStation 5. There's actually a video over on Echo Stretch's channel where he shows this working. But the one thing that I do want to call out is that the speed isn't quite there, and that this really isn't anything new, especially with Blu-ray players. They already had the ability to run NES emulators as well as Doom, and you can even do this without a vulnerable PlayStation 5. Again, this NES emulator would also work on things such as the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and really a number of systems that already have Blu-ray players in them. But still pretty cool if you want to go check it out. And then there was a vulnerability that folks found in the WebKit on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, it affects all of the newer system softwares, and there is a link right here that you can go to actually test it out to see if your system is vulnerable. I actually made a video on this where I tested this URL with a PlayStation 4 as well as you can see right here, a PlayStation 5. And if it shows this one right here, then that means the system is vulnerable. Now, what I also did was I took a PlayStation 4 that was run in version 10.01 and I ran this same exact thing over there. And as you can see right here, I also got a 1 for a 10.01 PlayStation 4. So definitely check out my video if you would like to learn a bit more about it, but it could mean that there's really good things coming for the PlayStation 4 and 5 scene. But who knows? Then there was an update over here by Lightning Mods, and it says, some people have asked if you can load games and apps through the network with Fuse. So here's a video of me loading Minecraft straight from my PC. No package, just game files and F-selves. Okay, and so here's the video. Obviously, there is a PlayStation 4 that is running right there in the background. He opens up Remote app, and it is basically sending over the game, which is Minecraft. Again, they did not have to install anything. The game is loading up. So really the advantage of this is that you wouldn't have to install package files on your PlayStation 4, or at least that's how I understand it. And then there was an update to the Flow's official BD-JB repo. Now, as we can see right here into the commits, this happened a couple of days ago, but if we go into this make folders here, it's all that's being changed is just actually creating a couple of directories that is in here. One other thing that I did notice about this repo is that John Tornblom, who is now doing really a lot of the heavy lifting for BD-JB, is listed here as an official contributor. Now, that happened a little while back. I'm just calling it out simply because a lot of folks are wondering if John and the Flow are working together, and it does appear that they are working together, especially since both of them now are listed as contributors to BD-JB. And then there is this brand new little tool that's out by Master called PS5 Update tool test, what we can see is that there is an executable here that has the PS5 update. And if you run the program, then basically you get this application where you need to punch in your PS5's IP address, the port, and then you have the ability to do things like disable the updates. You can open the update folder on your PlayStation 5, and then this also opens the folder where you currently installed the application to. And the reason that I'm calling this out is that there was a mention over here to update mode.elf, which is the video that I made earlier this week, and you can kind of go over and check it out. But basically, I found that when you initiate an update, it creates these 3 files: an end user license agreement, which is an XML that has a variety of different languages inside of it. Obviously, a PS5 update.pup, which is the installation package. And then it also creates this update mode.elf, which tries to install the pup that is in this folder. Now, in this video, obviously, I messed around trying to put other updates in this folder as if they were downloaded by Sony, but obviously Sony is way smarter than that, and I was not able to downgrade a PlayStation 5. I know, it's not going to be that easy. But anyway, you can check out this video if you want to kind of see a little bit more of what my thought process was and what I was looking for with their updates. Okay, so that is going to do it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.